Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video has been so long awaited. I wanted to do this for the longest time. The Fit Me foundation, I finally own it and I've been wearing it a few times and I absolutely love it, but I really wanted to wear test it on camera so we could all see how it progresses throughout the day. So that's what we're doing in this video. If you want to see how this works on dry skin, I have super dry skin and this is the matte and poreless formulation, and you can see how glowy it looks on my skin. So if you want to see how this holds up on dry skin and if it is indeed dry skin friendly, then just keep watching. So I wear the shade 360 Mocha and it is a pretty good match for my skin. So I'm just going to shake this up because it is a pretty liquidy foundation. It doesn't come with a pump, so I can't really tell how much product I'm using, but I am going to go in with this on one half of my face and see how much coverage I can get. So that's what one layer of foundation looks like. And as you can see, I've gotten pretty good coverage. The darkness around my eyes is definitely gone. The darkness around my mouth is definitely gone. On my forehead is the only place that I do regularly feel like it's kind of skipping in coverage. So I'm just going to build up the rest of this on the same side of my face and we'll see what two layers looks like. So this is the second layer of foundation and actually still have a bit of product on my hand, so I'm pretty impressed. It isn't the most full coverage foundation. I feel like the strong point of the Fit Me is that it looks very skin-like, so I can kind of see through to my skin with even two layers of foundation, but it does give a beautiful natural finish. It looks exactly like skin, and I have very dry skin and I'm still able to use the Fit Me matte and poreless version, so that's pretty damn good. That means it's not too drying, but I have heard from oily skin people that it is actually oil controlling, so I'm just going to be testing it out for my very dry skin. Ignore this glow that you're seeing on my face. All of this is a lot of moisturizer, so yeah, don't look at this glow and think like I have oily skin. I have very dry skin, which is why I always skip the primer stage because I never really need it unless it's a hydrating primer. I actually have a Maybelline hydrating primer that I'm absolutely obsessed with, so when I do remember to wear primer, that's the one that I go for. But yeah, so far so good. I just heavily moisturize my face and then go in with foundation, and you can see how glowy it looks without even using like illuminators or whatever. For my foundation wear test, I will only be using powder all over my face just because I feel like most foundations do need a powder of some sort, and the powder that I'll be using is the Fit Me matte and poreless powder, which is perfect for this foundation, but it is an affordable option because I use it with every other foundation that I use. Now I'm just going to build up the foundation on this other side of my face and we'll see what the coverage looks like, and then we'll go about my day. So this is what the foundation looks like freshly applied, and as you can see, the coverage is pretty good, but what I'd give this is a medium to full coverage, but not quite full coverage, because like around the drier parts of my face especially, I feel like the foundation is having a hard time sticking. So because it's such a runny foundation, first of all, I would not recommend using this with a sponge because it will just soak everything up, but also because it is so liquidy and it does move around as you're blending it, it's kind of hard to get it to stick on the drier parts of my face. Like on my forehead, on camera, I'm looking in the monitor, it looks absolutely fantastic, it looks so flawless, but in person I can kind of see through to my skin. Also on my nose and on my eyes, the dark circles are not completely covered, so I would definitely say this is a medium buildable coverage, but it's not quite full coverage. But I really do like the finish because it looks very skin-like. This is what it looks like freshly applied, and we'll call the check-in time 12:50 because that's when I'm applying the foundation. So I'm just going to go in with my Fit Me pressed powder, and this is in the shade 370. It's a little bit dark for me, but I do like it because it does calm down any orangey looking foundations. But I'm just going to set all over my face with this just so we can have an official check-in time. I love how flawless my skin looks. I feel like I can walk out the door and be like, oh, what makeup? Makeup for who? You know, like there's not, it literally looks like there's nothing on my face. Like my face is just absolutely flawless. So I'm just going to go off and do the rest of my face, and then I'll be back to talk about the Master Strobing sticks because as I mentioned in my last like Maybelline full face of Maybelline video, I don't feel like I talked about these quite enough. So I'm just going to be using these as my highlight for today. I can't wait to demo these to you. So I'll do that in my first check-in after I do the rest of my face. So I'll be right back. So I've literally not left the house, but I did wear this yesterday and like I was active out and about, and even today I've been active like in the house, and you can see that it's holding up beautifully. It's not completely matte, so if you are looking for a super matte formula, I don't know how well this will work out for you because it is more of a satin glowy finish that I absolutely love. For some reason on my skin it looks really glowy, on other people's skin it looks really matte, so I feel like if you just heavily moisturize like I do to compensate for my dry skin, then yeah, you can definitely make this work. I can't feel it on my face. I literally forget that it's on my face and like I go to touch it and then I remember, oh my gosh, I'm doing a wear test. So absolutely loving this foundation. It's actually working out really well for me. Even with the coverage, I feel like this is a really good everyday type of foundation as opposed to like super full coverage, super glam, like event ready foundation. So I'm really enjoying it in that regard. I feel like the color is absolutely perfect. As much as you can't see the rest of my body, it does match me really well. It's no longer looking orange. absolutely love that. I haven't blotted or touched up throughout this day, and I am noticing that it is settling into my smile lines ever so slightly, so that's not really a good thing. I haven't worn my spectacles, or I would come into this check-in with them, but I did notice yesterday when I wore it, because I did wear it for about 14 hours yesterday or something. I did have my spectacles on throughout the day, and it did move it around, so it doesn't perform the best underneath spectacles. But the good thing is, as soon as you take them off, you can just smudge it back into place and it will be absolutely perfect. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I don't think it has much transfer. I'm touching my fingers and I'm barely seeing foundation coming off. I know some has definitely come off, but it's not as bad as it usually is with foundations that have a lot of transfer. And you can see on my face there are no imprints of fingers left, so I guess I don't really have any complaints in that regard. The only other thing that I really wanted to do in this check-in is to put on some highlighter, because I've gone through my day without highlighter, and that's kind of unacceptable. So the highlighters that I really wanted to use in this video are the Master Strobing sticks. I did mention them in my full face of Maybelline video, but I feel like I didn't have a chance to really get in on them and like properly like give them the love that they deserve, because I absolutely adore these. This is in 200 medium nude glow, and this is in 300 dark gold. I have to read because I never remember, but the dark gold one is just like a straight up golden color, and the nude glow is more of a silvery shimmery finish, so I don't know if you can see the difference there. So before I get this highlighter on my face, I just want to show you how glowy my face is looking even without the highlighter, because I've been shooting other videos and I feel like I had enough natural like glow from the foundation going on that I didn't necessarily need a highlighter. So if you are someone who doesn't want to go through every single one of the extra steps, then you can definitely just go with this foundation and you will be glowing to the heavens. Obviously, if I add a powder on top of this, it will go back to being fully matte, so that's an option as well. But if you're a crazy highlight person like me, then you don't mind looking like you're just like really healthy. It's not like a greasy oily glow, it's a very healthy natural like skin like finish, so I'm absolutely loving it. I have no complaints. If you want to touch up, you can. I don't. I really want to go through a few more hours and see how well the foundation holds up without any more touch-ups, like without any more powdery help. So yeah, let me get nude glow on this side, molten gold on this side, and then we'll see how they look. So this is one way that you can apply the highlighter. You can just draw stripes on your face and then blend it out with the brush, but as you're seeing, it's taking way too long and I'm still seeing such harsh lines along the edges. So I'm just going to go in with my finger and blend this in, and that usually does melt it into the face, but you have to be careful because your fingers are warming up the product, so it might also warm up the foundation underneath the highlighter and then start moving things around, so you really have to be careful as you blend this in with your finger. And you can see the difference between the side without. This is just a natural glow of the foundation versus the side with the highlighter. My highlight is literally popping to the heavens. I am so impressed. I'm just going to put a couple of lines and blend this in straight with my finger. I'm not going to go in with a brush because we've seen that it doesn't blend it in quite so perfectly. And I'm being careful not to swipe my finger on my face because I don't want to move the foundation itself around. But as you can see, the highlight is there, the glow is there. It's a beautiful golden rich color that's absolutely perfect for our skin tones. I'm going to top this off with a powder highlight. And as you can see, I am just going in round circular motions because I don't want the line to be a strip. With powder, it's a bit more difficult to like blend it out once you have that harsh line. So I am just going round in circles and like blending it all the way up. And as you can see, on top of the cream, it looks amazing. Even on its own, it looks absolutely amazing. But on this other side of my face, I am going to be a bit more heavy-handed. So you can see I am patting into the product a lot more than I did for this other side. And then I'm just smiling again to find the tops of my cheeks. And I'm going in round circular motions because this is a bigger highlight brush than what most people use. And I prefer this because I feel like it makes the blending work so much easier for me. And as you can see, I have laid down a hell of a lot more product than I have on this side. So now you can see that this is the subtle side and this is the blinding highlight side. So as you can see, it is still blinding, but it is a bit more controlled, a bit more focused on the highest points of the cheeks. And yeah, I'm just shining to the heavens and I'm absolutely loving this. With this powder highlighter, you can achieve both looks. It is really simple. As you can see, I've barely touched any product, so this will last you a really long time. If you are into highlights like I am, then this is definitely a worthwhile investment because I've barely dipped my brush in, and this is like the 5th, 6th, 10th time I'm using this highlight, and you can see I haven't even made a dent. So this is gonna last you forever, and the highlight is going to be popping to the heavens forever. And I have also used the same color on my inner corners and underneath my brow bone just so the whole look is cohesive. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna build a highlight up on this side of my face, and then I'm going to come back in for my final check-in in a few hours and we'll see how everything is holding up. So it's now 1:15, which means it's been just over 12 hours that I've had this foundation on my face. And I do like to come back in with my spectacles for those of us who do wear spectacles or shades or whatever, just so we can see how foundations perform around my nose area. As you can see, it has spread around just like I said it would, because I have worn this before and I do know that every time I take off my shades, I do have to sort of tap everything back into place. But because it is 1 a.m., I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to go anywhere with this face. I just need to do this check-in and take it off because I'm exhausted. So let's talk about the foundation. It's not really holding up too well at the 12-hour mark, as opposed to the 5-hour mark where it still looked flawless and fantastic and like brand new. Right now it's looking very much worn, especially in this area around my eyes. I feel like underneath my eyes there's no coverage. I have been touching my eyes a bit, but that means the foundation has smudged off, because here you can see my darkness like sort of coming through the foundation. Around my nose it is smudgy, around my cheeks my pores are definitely sticking out. So I feel like as much as this is a matte and poreless foundation, it doesn't really help with the pores. It can help you stay matte if you do take the extra steps, but today I was just testing out the foundation with a little bit of powdery help, and I feel like I am looking a bit borderline greasy now. Like we've moved away from the glowy look to like a more greasy look, so I definitely do need to blot my face down now. So this isn't necessarily a long wearing foundation unless you're willing to go like extra powder, primer definitely, the setting spray route, like unless you're willing to do all of that. This isn't the most long wearing foundation, but just for like an 8 to 5, you know, if you're coming home in the evening, that's not exactly 12 hours, so you can definitely pull it off. But if you are like trying to go the distance, this may not be the foundation for you. Even with my dry skin, I feel like me looking this oily with my dry skin means that if you have oily skin, you may need to help this foundation out quite a bit. But I feel like for the skin like finish that it gave, it's absolutely worth it. So I'm just going to take one square of tissue and like blot half my face just so we can see the difference that it makes. So let me just blot this half of my face, and instantly you can already see the difference that it makes. There is quite a bit of transfer onto the tissue, but you can see the huge difference that it makes between the side of my face that's blotted versus the side that's not, because this side, while I like to look glowy, is looking a bit greasy. Whereas on this side of my face, if you are willing to blot throughout the day, I mean, obviously everyone blots throughout the day if you need to. This is more of the look that you will be getting if you blot during the day, which is a logical thing to do. I just didn't blot for 12 hours because I'm trying to do a check-in. I'm trying to see how well the foundation holds up, because I didn't want to take off this much foundation halfway through the day and then be like, oh, it's faded, it's like patchy or whatever, you know. But even with taking off this much foundation, I feel like it's not really looking any more patchy than it was when I came in for the check-in. So like this area around my eye is still looking a mess, but then it hasn't like spread itself, it hasn't like wiped away any of the foundation. So I feel like blotting it doesn't really have the worst effect. So if you do want to blot, don't be afraid that you're going to be taking off all your foundation, because this is quite a bit of foundation that's coming off, but it's not really showing up on the face. The same way I did the touch test earlier on, it did show up on my fingers, but it wasn't like leaving imprints on my face. So it has a way of, I guess, maintaining the coverage even throughout the blotting. Is it great for dry skin? I feel like it's fantastic for dry skin because I haven't felt anything on my face, much less like feeling it drying me out, especially because it says that it's matte. I thought I'd be feeling like the life is being sucked out of my face, you know, but every single time that I've worn this foundation with or without primer, it feels super comfortable on my skin. Even with my very, very dry skin, I don't feel like it clings to any dry patches. Maybe it has a bit of trouble like sticking onto my forehead in person, but on camera I'm looking in the monitor and everything just looks flawless. So even from a distance, I feel like I can kind of pull this look off. So if you've made it this far into the video, congratulations! Now you can hear about the giveaway that I'm having, because I've been planning my 1K giveaway and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. But yes, I've been talking about doing a 1K giveaway for a really long time now, so I will have all the details in the description box down below. So follow all the instructions and I will confirm that you followed all the instructions as I pick a winner. So we will have 2 winners for the Maybelline hamper giveaway, so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, be sure to open the description box down below to see all the rules and to enter. Tag a few friends, maybe you can all win, I don't know. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video.